What's happening, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Manchester United Let's Play. Today we're going to be doing our mid-season report of Season 1. I do these because I like doing them mainly. It's nice to sit and look at things. I get some ideas from it. You guys can give me some ideas as well for tactic, maybe changes on signing ideas. And yeah, we're going to do it for this series. No, it's the final series of FM23. So guys, don't forget to hit the like button down below. It helps support the channel. It really helps out a lot. And subscribe to keep up to date on all the content on this channel. I really appreciate every single person who leaves a like and a comment on the videos. They really do help. We still have an issue with the PC. It's getting to a point now where we're waiting for bank to get involved now. So I don't know what's going to happen with it. So I can record it a minute, but PC's not reliable. But we shall see. So we're going to go. These don't really have a time scale on them, these videos. The length of them is determined by what I talk about. And I end it when I feel like I've discussed everything I want to talk about. It's mid-season report, so let's get into it. So as you can see, league table, we're currently third in the table. We are not comfortably in the top four, but we've got a decent gap, 5 points clear at the top in top four. Fulham being a surprise package this season, being currently second in the table. Which, you know what, I think that's probably about where we should be. Based on the squad that we've got and how we've performed, I'm with 3 points off top with a decent goal difference as well. So it's not going bad. And the defeats we've had this season, you look at defeats, Liverpool and Man City are the only two that I'm not okay with, but the defeats that are realistic and or not realistic, but results that you could see happening. The rest of them are very poor. And you take those, and we should win those games. Especially the one at home to Wolves, we should win that game. But when you look at the squad, it's not perfect. It's not a title-winning team, but a couple more results go our way, and that draw against Brighton, we should have won it. So we're not far off. It's just fine details that are stopping us at the moment. Champions League, we stormed through our group stage game. Our group stage, our group. What group were we in? I forget what group we actually were in. Group F. So let's get that group up so you can see it a bit easier rather than me just having the whole thing like that. So Group F, walked it. The only thing was Sevilla was the one I was worried about. And maybe Young Boys away, which ended up being a 4-4 draw. So we finished at the top of the group, which is fantastic. We had it relatively sewn up, but it did show me in those games where I rotated the side. Was we had issues with taking players out and then bringing new ones in. They weren't at the level that I would like them to be. But we got the job done. 5 wins out of 6, 1 draw, no defeats, plus 11 goal difference. That's what we should do. It's one thing saying we should do it though. It's a completely other thing actually doing it. So yeah, well done. We did the job there. Obviously the Carabao Cup, lost to Liverpool. Disappointing, obviously, result there. We can go back and look at the... I'm not sure round we got... Was it fourth round? Was it fourth round we got knocked out in? No, clearly not. The third round? Yeah, so we got Liverpool in the third round. Lost 3-1 in that game. And we just didn't perform at all. But again, it's Liverpool. Oh, sorry. It is a result that can happen. It's not a shock result. It was more the performance I was concerned with in that game. FA Cup, we're not in it yet, so nothing to talk about there. So overall, I'm happy. We're in a Champions League group, we're in top 4, and if we haven't lost Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, it's not terrible. The recent form hasn't been good, but the performances have slipped a little bit. Bring up here for you. Burnley, we were okay until we scored the second goal. Once we conceded that goal back to make it 2-1. We didn't play well. I will not play well since there. Brentford, we were just not at the races at all. Got a late goal. In that game also, Højlund missed some great chances in that game that he probably should have scored. And Liverpool was even. They had one good chance in the whole game and we just couldn't create anything. But again, it is what it is. But the form, genuinely speaking, you look at all that green, it's actually been very, very good. And defensively, you look at the results, we don't concede many goals in games. The anomaly there is the Young Boys 4-4. Apart from that, we're quite solid at the back. Obviously, it looks good. I'd have to rewatch the games again. But my feeling also is, to be fair, that some of these games we were a bit lucky not to concede in them. I had to watch them back again. Newcastle away is one that I'm just trying to remember. I think that one was one when we were really poor, but I think I just remember. But I'm sure there's games here where we weren't great. Arsenal was one where I think we could have gone either way that game. We were really good, and then we could see the league goal and we fell apart a little bit. And Sancho obviously got the winner at the end to seal it. So overall, very pleased. We've beaten Arsenal, beaten Newcastle. Have we played Chelsea this season? Beating Chelsea as well. I'm looking at teams around us. Tottenham, where are they? They're not really in top 4 reckoning at the moment. We've beaten the teams around us that we need to beat. So we've beaten all these 3, which is what we need to do. I'm obviously pushing for the title, obviously, given it's a one-season series based on the time left before the new game comes out, most likely. But I feel like we're not favourites for it. Let's put it that way. Obviously, January is coming around the corner. I would like to invest in January, but the finances are not in a great place. We've got £27 million. The squad, the only thing I would do in January to generate some funds would be probably to sell Jadon Sancho. But the problem with that idea is I don't have a right winger to replace him with. And I think the midfield needs investment in it. Specifically, these two. They're not terrible, but I need more energy in there. But again, finances are an issue with that. So it depends on what offers I get in the January window for players. I can see Eriksen being shifted because I don't use him as much as I would probably like. And if I'm playing him in centre mid, the issue with him is lack of pace. If I play him in cam, I've got Bruno, Mount, Hannibal, even Van der Beek. Would have been an option in there. Obviously, not here at the moment. I still think he is. I should check that actually. Is he here? I can't remember if I sold him or I loaned him out. I think I ended up loaning. I did loan him out. So we are in an okay spot. Obviously, the thing I want to do in my head doesn't make sense to do because it's not a long-term save. Now, obviously, people will be saying what's going to happen with FM24. The most likely option is this will be a new series that I start on FM24 for the main game. By then, hopefully, PC's sorted out. There's a possibility that beta save won't happen. I'll try and get one out, but if the PC's not sorted out by then, I probably won't because it would mean I can't record. Because by then, I'm hoping to God it's sorted by then. Surely it will be. But we'll see. The game comes out November 6th, and 2 weeks before that is around back end of October. If it's gone that long, I'm going to be splitting feathers. But we'll see. So overall, I'm pleased. Now, my scouting list, I've got some players on here. Wrong section, sorry. I'm looking at midfielders clearly at this. Obviously, the bottom 2, you kind of just get them off there because they're not really players I'm going to be signing. How do I get them off here? Where is it? Here we go. So, Camavinga is what I'm looking at as a real possibility because of that energy he has in midfield, and he can do a variety of roles in box-to-box, ball midfielder in there. Looking at our, we are playing deep line playmaker at the moment, but I'm thinking we bring in someone like him who I'm tempted to go box-to-box alongside Casemiro. I'm just worried whether it will work or not. But I can do a loan deal for this guy and bring him in. But I don't know. The deal is massive. There's a few clubs after him as well. Or Liverpool want him as well. There's more than that. And then you look at people like Thuram. Again, not amazing, but could play that box-to-box role if I wanted him to. Maybe not as good as Camavinga. Courtmine is another one I'm looking at. But the problem with him is he's a deep line playmaker, centre midfielder, but he has that lack of pace in there. But what he would bring with better quality. But if I'm bringing in someone like him, I may as well play Eriksen in there. Honestly, because technicals are better. So if I'm bringing somebody in, it's got to be someone in the bracket of a Camavinga who can play that box-to-box role, has that strength, has that stamina, has that pace. I would love to do this deal. I just don't know. My worry is if I do this and go to box-to-box, I then have an issue with no one in midfield taking the ball? That's my worry. That's my worry. Now, we did try this at one point, if it lets me do it, where you have defensive midfielder there on support, with the box-to-box doing the energy work in here like this, and then the DM in there just sitting deep. I've thought about doing that. I could try that out, but I'm not sure. In theory, the idea would be he'd take the ball in that position. And yeah, he was studying. It makes sense. How I think it should work would be he takes the ball and waits seconds to get back in position. Box to box, runs up and down here, does his energy in there for us. And then these guys do their thing. With these guys, obviously, get involved. Fullbacks getting forward off of the whip. In theory, it should work. I just don't know whether the game will. Whether that's gonna. I don't know whether what I'm wanting it to do. This I can't phrase this. What my head is thinking it should work out is like I just said. I don't know whether what I'm doing on the game is going to make the game do that, and that's my big concern. And it will give me more protection there as well. The 4-2-3-1 would work. Now, obviously, we could just do this, but I do feel like we need that link in midfield to play out from the back and get forward. But we are playing more like passing and high tempo, so maybe it's not an issue. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. What I might do is try it for the next few games and see how it goes, with the vision of doing it in January and pulling trigger on that deal in January for Camavinga. Because Amrabat can play that box-to-box role. He can do it. I don't know if anyone else can, though. That is the question. I mean, Corey Maynard, what's his best role in that? Steve reckons a playmaker. I don't know about Mason Mount. Can he do that role? See, Mount can play it as well. So I could try that and give it a run, give it a whirl. If it's disastrous and doesn't really result in results, we can always ditch it and go back to what we know works. But I'm not wanting to spend money on... I could do a loan deal for Camavinga. I could try and do a loan deal for Camavinga with the option to buy, because it's a one-season thing. And then if it doesn't work, we just bring him in as ball midfielder and rotate him and Casemiro more. We can always do that. It's a loan deal. It doesn't really have any consequences for us, because we're not going to keep him. We're not going to do a second season, because like that I can't see myself finishing a second season off at a short space of time. Bearing in mind, I don't do day uploads on any series now. It's every other day. Just use my workload and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Club Vision, everything seems to be okay. Generally speaking, the board coaches don't care. They're not happy, but disappointed. But they're delighted with the... So I'm not too worried about this, really. And expectations are this year to get Champions qualification. We should be able to do that. That's going to be a tough time in Champions League against Atletico Madrid. And the obviously FA Cup is draw dependent on what we're doing. So overall, I'm happy. My player of the season so far has been Rasmus Højlund. He's been absolutely stunning. I love him. He's brilliant. Just frustrated me against Bournemouth, against Brentford, when he was through on goal. And the form, I'm not saying he should score every one of those. Watch the game back. He shouldn't score every one of them, but he's got to score one of them. And I fancied him in his form to score at least two of them, actually, because he's been in such a great form up until recently. So I'm hopeful we can get top four this season. And I know people would say I can transfer the save over. I'm not a fan of that, really. When a new game comes out, I want to play new features and new database fully. So I get that's a really cool database. People who don't buy the game every year or can't afford to buy the game every year. But for me as a content creator, yeah, no, not for a series. Maybe for an offline save, I could do that. But I like to start fresh from a new game for content. So we shall see how far we get this season. Whatever happens, guys, when we get to the final end of the season, that is the end of the series, essentially. And we can just frame it off. We can always frame it as, this is how I did this season with Ten Hag's team, and I made some changes to it, and this is how I did this season. We can always compare to how he does IRL, which is not looking great and at the moment. So that's where we're at. Now, obviously, next episode, we've got quite a bit of a gap here before we get to the main next significant game, unless we get an FA Cup third round draw. I'm also trying to mitigate how much time we have a gap between the FM23 content and the FM content for FM24. So you could possibly see every video upload with a shorter gap between games, so I can get episodes recorded in time. And obviously I will adjust if I feel we have to, because round here, look, you've got Liverpool and Atletico Madrid together. That's an obvious dual live com. Newcastle, let's go Madrid together. That's another obvious live com duo, depending on what happens in that first leg against Atletico Madrid. Then Arsenal and Luton, you could argue, could be it. So you can see the framework here for the series already. Honestly, you can see it. Then you go Chelsea and Man City. They're episodes right there. Obviously, there may be an FA Cup draw in there. There could be other tied Champions League that come in, but there is episodes right there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's assuming we don't win any cup games and progress any further. So that's 5 episodes, which will bring us to, what will it bring us to? This is today, so 1. So that's the 8th. That gets to 17th, and that's not far off 2 weeks away. So you see the timescale we're dealing with here. Now, obviously, when a new game comes out, I may go daily uploads, but it also depends on how I feel, what I want to do. So next episode we'll do is Tottenham and Fulham. But like I say, we'll see how it goes. If I feel we can do daily uploads, I might, near the end of the series, we get a lot of cup games, make them daily to get the season done in plenty of time. I always take a break from FM content before the new game comes out. It's just the way I like to do it. So we shall see how this goes. I'm enjoying the save, but the problem with this save and recording content right now is that I have to use a PC I don't fully like. And my head is always in the headspace of that issue. So obviously, take what I say at face value. There could be disruption in the next few days with content. I'm trying my best to minimize it. I will try and record over the next 2 days some content and get some out for you guys as quick as I possibly can, with the hope I can get a PC sorted relatively quickly. But I don't want to go into detail on it and to the fine details because it's ongoing. But I may put a detailed post in my community chat later this evening, my time, to discuss what's going on and in more detail, rather than do a video based on it every 5 minutes when I don't know what's going to happen. So that's basically it. So if you've got any ideas, guys, specifically about will this actually sodding work in my head, it should. But my brain doesn't work 100%. and my biggest problem with Football Manager has always been is I know football, I know what I want to do. Its biggest problem is getting the game to do what I want it to do. And a lot of times I did a test on an offline save early in the year just to download a tactic that I feel will do exactly what I want it to do. And I compared the two, and the tactic and the thing I wanted it to do was working on the custom tactics. So it's clearly my tactics and my instructions, or the players I've got in my team, maybe as well, that are stopping me seeing the things I want to see. And that's my biggest problem with FM every year, is working out how to get the game to do what I want it to do, or my team to play. Yeah, and that's the biggest problem I have. But this, in theory, should work. However, we'll have to wait and see. So we'll be back next episode for Tottenham v Fulham. The fact that every day helps out the recordings as well, so that should definitely be guaranteed, and then we'll see where we're at. I'm not going to promise any episodes other than basically that one there, because this PC situation could escalate quickly out of nowhere, for all I know. But as assured, when we do get a resolution to this PC problem, this ongoing issue with the companies and my credit card company and all that kind of stuff, I will do a video to explain the situation, explain how it's going to be delayed for, and go from there. I'm hopeful to get an answer ASAP, but I can't predict that. I can't say that's going to happen. So, thank you for the support, guys. Thank you for the views and the patience with this ongoing situation. And hopefully, you guys enjoy the content regardless. And hopefully, we can get to the end of this saga very soon. and we can move on and get things sorted out. So thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on next time. Bye bye.